Report Network has a new and exclusive line of clothing. First up, the Jiu-Jitsu Rash Guard. This isn't just gear, it's a statement. A commitment to eco-friendly battles on the mats and waves. And for those who live by the bold champion spirit, we have something special. A line for men and women designed not just for the fight, but for life. Wear our bold champion spirit of Jiu-Jitsu Rash Guard confidently. Its striking design with golden figures in combat honors the enduring spirit of competition in martial arts. Pair it with our unisex mesh shorts, the perfect combo of style, comfort, and eco-conscious design for the modern warrior. And don't forget, our Jiu-Jitsu Bold Champion Spirit leggings. This attire is expertly engineered to channel the champion spirit in every move you make. Together, it's not just about looking good. It's about feeling the part and living the Jiu-Jitsu way, both on and off the mats. Meticulously crafted for the yoga studio, the gym, and beyond, blending style, comfort, and the heart of a champion. Wear your passion, embody sustainability, and elevate your practice. Join the league of athletes who wear their values as proudly as their belts. It's more than clothing, it's a way of life. Ringside Report Network, where champions dress for success, sustainability, and the spirit of the sport.
Attention to all professional wrestling fans and followers of the legendary Johnny Genesis North. We are releasing a must-have collection of Johnny North merchandise in our store at merch.ringsidereport.net, starting with our limited edition Johnny Genesis North 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. With a unique design capturing Johnny in action, this tee exudes raw energy and intensity through its versatile 3/4 sleeves for any weather. Stand with our legendary co-host, Johnny North. Make a bold statement in the wrestling community by getting yours today, exclusively at merch.ringsidereport.net.
Get ready to amp up your betting game with Ringside Report Network's latest knockout offer. We've teamed up with our pals at Bet99.com to bring you something that will shake up the betting world. Dave's Picks with boosted odds. Here's the lowdown. Normally you see odds like -200 over at Bet99, right? Picture this. We hit up our buddies at Bet99 and worked out some magic. Suddenly those odds? They're looking a whole lot sweeter at -150. That's right, and we're all about getting you those exclusive, juiced-up odds, only for the Ringside Report universe. So here's the game plan. We dish out the picks, and you keep those eyes peeled. You might see a number on Bet99, but hold up. Wait until Saturday morning rolls around. Thanks to those boosted odds we've snagged for you, those numbers will look much better. I'm all for Bet99 doing great, but let's not kid ourselves. We want to win big too. It's all in good fun, and hey, it's part of the thrill of the game. They're in on it, and we're in on it. It's all about having a blast while pocketing some extra cash. Ready to take advantage of those boosted odds? Go to the special Ringside Report Bet99 link on your screen. We're all about seeing how much we can boost the odds for you, our loyal viewers. And a huge thank you to Bet99 for their support of the Ringside Report Network.
It's the UFC 300 preview show on the Ringside Report Network. Let's do it.
Let's go!
What's happening? We're here. We're live. We're doing the damn thing. The whole crew is here. The team is here. The squad. What's up, my boys?
What's up, Chico?
Chico. Hey, yo.
UFC 300, man. We've been waiting for this.
It's upon us. It's finally upon us, Fred. We're here. What's your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, it's a great card. Best card of the year. I'm happy.
Yeah. You didn't give me an answer, but what is it? 7? 8? I don't know.
10.
10! Oh! I'm on a 10, too. I'm excited for this one. UFC 300. How could you not be, right? If you're an MMA fan, how could you not be excited for what we have coming up on Saturday night? We're going to be doing the watch-along. AJ's coming over. We're going to have a party. Fred, you got to come over for a watch-along at some point. I was going to suggest UFC 300, but I know you can't for this one. Fred might not even join us for UFC 300, which is shocking and sad. But, you know, he's got other obligations, and that's okay. It's okay. Fred's got things to do, man. He's got family parties to attend
better
to.
than 300, man.
Yeah, but it's, he's got a family member's big birthday, so, he's got things to do. Sometimes scheduling, right?
I'll be watching it on my cell if anything.
But he may join us, and if he does join us, he might join us late, so we'll see. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see. Maybe Fred will join us on Saturday. If not, it'll be AJ and I leading the charge, taking care of you on Saturday night, watching UFC 300. Right along with you, we will see Bo Nickel open up the pay-per-view against Cody Brundage. Bo Nickel, baby.
So many people are mad at him.
People are mad at him? Why?
Well, some people are like, oh, Bo Nickel shouldn't be on the main card when Yuri and Aljamain are on the prelims. And
yeah, they're not wrong.
I don't know.
I mean, how many former world champions are on this card? It's pretty nuts.
A lot.
A lot of world champions, a lot of former champions are on this thing on the prelims, and Bo Nickel, a 5-0 fighter, is on the main card. I think there's something to that.
Maybe what people object to mostly is that he seems to be getting a squash match. He's like a minus 1,600 favorite. Like, is that match should really be on the main card? I think there might be an argument for that.
No, I agree.
Well, listen, man. Listen, you can argue all you want, but the thing is that he's 5-0. He's like a front face, top level wrestler. He's exciting. He has a big following in the States. He's a known name, and he's not even like close to the top 5 yet, or top 10 for that matter. But the thing is, he's there. You got to give him credit, guys. He's there. Yeah, is he going against Cody? Yeah, for sure. Cody's gonna get smashed. There's no doubt about it. But he needs to be there, and I'm more excited to see Bo Nickel than most, I guess. But you know what?
I mean,
there's a lot
Yuri
of people that
against Rakic is a pretty good fight.
Yeah,
That was
Sterling
versus
kind of
Qatar. Sterling versus
But they want to
Qatar.
build 300. They want to build people for the 300 for the free stuff, man. You got to have like a killer free, card, and that's it. So the prelims gives the opportunity for people to think, you know what? Maybe I'll just grab that card.
I'll give you the more logical answer. They got 3 5-rounders, man. They need a fight to finish under a round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. AJ, is that a microphone that works in front of you, or is that just a prop?
No, it's the thing in front there. That's the prop. I'm waiting for a piece for this one.
That's great. It's great that you have a microphone as a prop and your audio is garbage. That is hilarious.
Hey, listen, man, I'm waiting for you to send me the mic that you always talk about.
Okay, well, I didn't know that you actually needed a mic. You keep saying, oh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. There you go.
What, you smoke weed or something, man? Did you forget?
Did I forget what?
That I've been always saying. You're going to send me the mic.
You said you just bought one.
Yeah, this one here. And obviously, it's not working that well.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll talk then. After the show, let's discuss, and we'll make a plan. I mean, make a plan with me, damn it. Like,
Yeah. press
You don't
passes
give me
at a mic.
concrete answers about anything, AJ. Not just on the show, but off the air too. Like it's difficult to get a straight answer.
No.
Yeah,
Listen, quickly to Johnny, I got a little. I did get a little OJ, so don't worry. I didn't forget OJ, dude. OJ is there in memory of the great.
Not sure why, but your
Can we
OJ
not?
is like
Let's
your
not-
hand is blue.
Yeah, we're not paying
know, right?
tribute to
It's
the
fine.
murderer, okay? You fucking
Allegedly.
AJ. Only
world.
AJ would do that. Only AJ would be like, let's give a shout out to. Like, come on, man.
Well, man, it's OJ
No,
Simpson.
I'm not allowing it, AJ.
Apart
I'm
from
going to
the
talk
murder
over
thing.
you. I'm going to shut you down. I'll cut you out if I have
Dave.
to.
Freddie
Here
goes.
we
Freddie.
go. Here we go. I did it. It was so easy. AJ, like,
Am I allowed to
Um,
feel something that OJ passed away? I don't know if it's sadness or whatever, but it's still like
it's like a
Still
weird
like
feeling.
it's like a personality still. That's a big thing. And I remember the verdict. I was in college and we were all like in the Café Étudiant and they read the verdict on the radio. Back then, kids, we had something called the radio. Some people still work there, but not for long. But anyways, that's another subject.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the radio, we listened to the OJ verdict and everybody was like, oh, innocent. Oh,
Yeah.
Still
It was
remember,
on
man.
I remember it was on my 10th birthday when they read the
Oh.
verdict. I was 10 years
See?
old. I was at school. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I watched
was
a
in,
lot
like,
of
the
it
fourth grade.
on CNN. I've watched
Yeah.
a lot of it. Well,
My
yeah.
10th birthday.
OJ.
It was a good day because back then, like, I would get soda on my birthday. It was like a special treat with my lunches. I would get a soda. Tremendous. Couldn't do that for kids nowadays. The teachers would look at you strange, you know? Times have changed, Fred.
We had soda machines back in the days in my high school days.
Yeah.
Like we had also like chips and chocolate bars and all that. I know
Yeah.
they changed that at some point.
Yeah, they don't have any of that now. I know in like certain CJEPs they don't sell Coke at all. I know that from firsthand experience, and it's annoying. You got to bring your own. All right, we'll bring AJ back. I think we're good. AJ was gonna pay tribute to a murderer, and I just
Hey,
didn't want to allow
motherfucker,
that.
you take me off, but you start talking OJ shit and Coke in high school. There's always Coke at high school. You should know that.
Oh my God!
But let me tell you.
You're missing the point.
Listen, man, I'm not saying that I agree what happened with OJ, but he died, and he's like, you know, a very, very well-known name in many circles. So I'm just saying he passed.
Yeah,
Twitter
all right,
legend.
AJ. We're not talking about. You don't get to talk about him anymore. Angelo says, "Shut up, AJ."
Hey, you
and
were
I agree.
talking about
No,
him, you motherfucker.
you don't get to talk about him on the show because you're going to talk about him positively, and I'm not allowing that.
Well,
so I'll make
the
you
Naked
disappear
Gun
again
movies
if I
were
have
really
to.
funny.
It's really not that hard to do. It's a button I push. And I don't care about the
okay, I'll
people
see.
that say, "Oh, I'm a prick" or something. Bring AJ back. I don't care
What?
about you. I don't care about you saying that. I don't care. It makes no difference to me if you say, "Oh, bring AJ back." Boo! Like if you're mad at me for like making AJ disappear, I couldn't care less.
That's right.
Just so we're
continue.
clear. Just so we're clear. If you're an AJ fan, like if you're on Team AJ and not Team Dave, you're on the wrong side, and I don't care about your opinion
What? That's not cool. That's not cool to say to a
about
friend,
disappearing
you
AJ. I
bastard.
mean, I care. I want you to watch the show and everything, and it's fine. But like when it's time for AJ to be put on timeout, AJ gets put on timeout, and it is what it is. AJ, you can have your
happens at
trolls
least,
and your fake accounts come at me if you want, but your Russian bots or whatever you have going for you, but it doesn't faze me. It doesn't do anything.
Russian bots. Listen, it'll happen that I get like banned at least, you know, a dozen times a year. At least,
Yeah,
but it's okay. I'm used to it, man. I'm cool.
you deserve
But you know
it.
what?
Every time. Every time.
Well, so does OJ. At least he'll know who the murderer is now.
Yeah, I think he always
Yeah,
knew.
well, I'd like. I hope somebody told him just as he was dying that the murderer was about to get caught dead.
Yeah.
I think he's still running.
Yeah, I think somebody told him that, and he had a heart attack from the shock. He was like, "Oh, what?"
I guess the glove does fit.
What? Okay.
You don't remember that whole scene, that whole
Yeah,
thing?
I do,
It's
but
like the glove-
the
the glove
joke you
don't
made
fit, you
didn't
quit.
have like it didn't make sense. Like you said a thing which you often do. You just like say like a
It's
non
plastic
sequitur,
glove, dude.
but it's
It
not
fits.
actually a joke. It doesn't really land or make any kind of logical sense. You know what I mean? For a
Yeah,
joke
maybe
to
for
make
you, man.
sense,
Mr.
it's gotta like
Mr.
have
Comedy.
a point. It's gotta have a punch.
What do you
There's
know
no
about
punch.
comedy? You don't know comedy, man. You're like a drywall, man. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Comedy. I know comedy.
Yeah, you're hilarious.
I thought it was a funny joke.
Fred, who do you think is funnier, me or AJ? Not
If you say Dave,
unintentionally.
I'll have to
That
change
was
rules.
going to be exactly my question, because I mean, unintentionally, it's officially AJ. Like AJ. but I mean,
Who
AJ's like the
dresses
car
up? Hey,
crash that
listen,
you laugh.
You want me to
you
dress
know,
up
like-
as AJ? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, AJ. Want me to dress up as OJ on Sunday?
No,
Or Saturday?
because you'd be in blackface and it would be so inappropriate, and I would not
No,
allow you on
I guess
the
you
show.
would call me Trudeau at that point. You'd call me
yeah,
Trudeau.
well, you guys like dressing up.
I mean, OJ did save the queen in Naked Gun, man. You gotta give him that.
He did.
That was a
That's true,
role
Freddie.
that
Good
wasn't
point.
real. That didn't actually happen.
No,
I mean, the
no.
real murderer was Reggie Jackson, man. I saw it in the movie, man. If there's a sports athlete you should be scared of, it's Reggie Jackson.
Hey,
He wanted to kill that
Yep.
old lady.
One of the greatest
Hey.
hitters.
Poor old queen.
Mr. October would never do such a thing. You take that back about Yankees legend Reggie Jackson. We will have no Reggie Jackson name tarnishing on this show. Reggie Jackson is a legend and everybody loves him. Mr. October. Oh, Yankees lost last night. Pissed me off, but it's okay. They're 10-3 now. They're still excellent. They're still the first team to hit 10 wins in the Major League Baseball. So that's
For
good.
now. The season just started, Dave. Don't
Yeah, and
forget.
the Yankees are ahead of everybody so far, which is nice. It's a nice start for the Yankees, is what I'm saying. It looks good so far. We've won a bunch of games so far.
I always
not
have
over
this
yet.
like theory.
It's a
that
marathon.
You start strong and end bad, So it's the mid-season that counts, man. That's where the real stuff.
Make a really rough
I'm just
joke
saying.
about starting strong and ending bad with you, AJ, but I decided not to. I kind of want to make it, but it's too rough. And Fred would have died laughing. That's the
You
thing.
gotta-
I'm trying to pop
when you
Fred
have-
at this point.
Listen,
What happened to AJ?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm still having an issue here. I think we're still having a minor connection issue
Blame it
that
on
should be
OJ.
resolved. I think we're good. If you're having a problem on the YouTube, just refresh. Should be good. Are you back with me, AJ? I think we're still a little glitchy. Can you hear me?
yeah. You hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I hear you. And I see you.
I hear you perfectly.
I think we're all good. Bit of a glitch, bit of a hiccup. Sometimes the internet hiccup. What happens?
Can you? So
What
Yeah.
happens when you talk shit,
300,
AJ?
man. It's
Things
about-
glitch out? Is that what you're saying? Are you here, AJ?
maybe
Fred,
it's the
are you
ghost of
there?
age. The ghost of OJ.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. We're all good. I think we had a hiccup there. Our internet went like, and now we're back. Why does that happen? Internet. What's the deal? It's
It's a
annoying.
provider, man.
I think it is, and I keep calling them, and they never have a clear answer. UFC 300. Let's get into the fights before AJ and I get into some sort of altercation on the show.
What's new, man?
Oh, man. It's funny because, we're very good friends. We love each other.
Of course, man.
So,
But you gotta
we're
make
good.
it entertaining, Kind of
Yeah,
boring,
that's
man.
it. That's it.
Gotta make
Oh,
it
God.
fun. You gotta make it fun for everyone.
If I would have said what I was thinking, it would have been, I don't know what would have happened. That's what's bad.
But
man.
say it,
Sometimes-
man. There's
No,
only
it's
so
too
many
late. It's-
times that you can throw in a good joke, dude. I can take it. But it's too late now. Now you lost your window of opportunity.
Yeah,
Forget it,
it's
man.
too late. It was hard. Okay, Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt is the opening fight at UFC 300. Let's count the world champions, shall we? Davison Figueiredo was a flyweight champion. Cody Garbrandt was a bantamweight champion. It's two former champions fighting each other at 135 pounds in a opening fight, the first prelim of the night at like 6:30. That's the first fight.
Crazy.
Then you get Bobby Green versus Jim Miller.
Bobby.
Then you get Marina Rodriguez versus Jessica Andrade. There's another world champion, Jessica Andrade, former UFC strawweight champion. So we have, so far on the prelims, 3 former world champions. Figueiredo, Garbrandt, Andrade. Then you got Jalen Turner and Renato Moicano rounding out the early prelims. Then we get to the TV prelims at 8 p.m. Sodiq Yusuff taking on Diego Lopez, which is a sick featherweight fight. Kayla Harrison from the PFL making her UFC debut against the former world champion Holly Holm at 135 pounds. Then we see former world champion Aljamain Sterling take on Calvin Kattar at 145 pounds. Aljo going up to featherweight from where he was champion at 135. Then we have another former world champion, Yuri Prohaska, former light heavyweight champion, goes up against Alexander Rakic, and that's just the prelims. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 former world champions out of 8 fights on the prelim card. 8 fights on the prelims,
Crazy.
6 former world champions on the prelims. That's solid. Then we get to the pay-per-view. Bo Nickel, 5-0, undefeated prospect, wrestling machine, takes on Cody Brundage. Former 155-pound champion Charles Do Bronx Oliveira takes on the rising Arman Tsarukyan. Former world champion at 145 Max Holloway takes on Justin Gaethje for the BMF championship. Current strawweight champion Zhang Weili defends her title against Yan Xiaonan in the co-main event. And then Alex Pereira, the current UFC light heavyweight champion, takes on the former UFC light heavyweight champion Jamahal Hill. It's the main event of UFC 300. You kind of forget it's the main event of UFC 300. I saw Max Holloway saying, hey, the promotion for this is me and Gaethje. Everybody's talking about me and Gaethje. It's like these other fights aren't really getting promoted. How come I'm not getting paid like the main event? I think I need to get more money here. And I think he's right, because to me, Holloway-Gaethje is the fight on this card. Is it not? All these other fights are cool. Like, I'm not disrespecting any of these fights. These other fights are real good. But the headliner feels like Holloway and Gaethje to me.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's going for the BMF title too, right?
Yeah. It's just
I
they're big
personally
stars.
don't care.
They've been in the UFC for so long. I don't know.
Yeah, I personally don't care for the BMF title. It's a great fight, but they're not even in the same division. So, like, technically, Gaethje's a lightweight, Holloway's a featherweight. It's a nice, sexy matchup. But hey, Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill could be considered a champion. This is basically champion versus champion, because Jamahal Hill never lost his title. And it wasn't that long ago. It was like 10, 12 months ago. It wasn't that long ago.
13.
Jamahal Hill's a legit contender. Alex Pereira, to me, his UFC run is legendary. I mean, this guy, within less than 10 fights, already has a Hall of Fame career on his resume. So, I don't know. I'm very excited for that fight. The only thing that scares me is that injury that Jamahal Hill got. It was like 8-9 months ago. Mm-hmm. That to me seems like a quick turnaround for an Achilles tear that he had. So that kind of scares me. But other than that, this fight I think is going to deliver, and it's going to be spectacular. This is going to be an incredible main event.
I agree. I think it is going to be an incredible main event. I just feel like there's been a lot of hype around Gaethje and Holloway, a lot of talk around Gaethje and Holloway, and maybe a little less talk with Hill and Pereira, but that's a big fight. I think another forgotten fight, though, on this card is Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan. It's a big fight. It's a good fight, but on this pay-per-view, like the main card, it's the co-main event, but I feel like a lot of people don't care. It's just not. You talk about sexy matchups. This is not a sexy matchup. This is like, this is the fight that you really hope doesn't go 5 rounds because, man, you just want to get to Pereira and Hill. I'm going to be complaining.
But why is it like that? Is it because there's a lack of a little bit of none of the two really speak English, so we can't really relate to anything they say or whatever.
And
So
it's not
yeah,
like
I agree.
it's not like Zhang Weili lights the world on fire with her fighting style. Like, she's good, but like,
I mean, she's a good
not,
fighter still.
but she's not exciting when she fights. Like, her fights aren't like, whoa. Her fights are like, oh yeah, she's really good. Wow, she's really good. But I don't know, like, she goes to decision a lot, you know? She's like not the most exciting fighter. I'm not a huge Zhang Weili fan. I respect her. I don't, you know, this couldn't have main evented UFC 300. They needed Jamahal Hill and Alex Pereira to be another world title fight which they added, like, you know, not that long ago, right? Because Zhang Weili and Xiaonan could not carry this card because it's not a big money fight. It's just not.
No, absolutely. And if it was, we would all be complaining and saying this is terrible, and it's not a way for the UFC to have a 300, no doubt about it. But being on the main card, I think it's excellent. And you know, when you look at like Weili's striking accuracy and her strike count, this girl delivers. On her last fight with when it was with Lemos, she landed 163 significant strikes. The thing with her is she's going to go out there and punch away. But again, you know, for me, I think, you know, I'm kind of on the bandwagon with Max, like that being more of like the headline I want to see. I want to see Gaethje fight. I want to see Max Holloway fight. You know, this is going to be a fight of the night, and it's going to be tough, man, because there's so many opportunities for fight of the night. Oliveira against Arman, that could be another fight of the night. I mean, there's going to be fireworks delivered. You know, the Weili fight is going to be. I think it's going to be a little bit different. I think there's going to be a lot of significant strikes on Weili's side. But when it comes down to show and tell, she's going to take her down to the ground and she's going to submit Yan. That's what's going to happen because Yan, what is he? How old is she now? 30. How old is she? 32, 33, somewhere around there?
34.
I mean, she's just 34. She's just learning the wrestling game, dude. It's not a good time to be learning the wrestling game when you're going up against Weili. So,
oh, Weili's 34. Sorry. No. I thought you were asking Weili. Xiaonan is. Oh, sorry. Xiaonan is also 34. They're both 34.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, but it's a different story learning wrestling at that age. You know what I'm saying? It's not her foundation of martial arts. So that's what's going to happen. The Weili fight is going to be not much of a striking game, in my opinion. More of a takedown game, and you know, top control game. And if she does throw out her punches, I think Weili can knock her out. I mean, you look at like her significant strikes against Joanna. It was crazy. It was over 165 significant strikes. So when she throws out her punches, she's there to connect. But I think this game is going to go down to the ground, and you know, I think Weili is definitely going to win this. But I am glad that it's not the main event, because if it was, man, it would suck. You know, it would suck.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, you know, it's a fight. It's on the card. It is what it is. But like Fred said, we've got 3 title fights, 3 potential 5-rounders in a row. And I fear that this card may start to drag at that point, at that middle point. Like if Holloway and Gaethje go 5 rounds, and then we're sitting there, and it's like late, and Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan are in the 3rd and 4th round. It's like, you know, that's rough. And then we get to Pereira and Hill, and you got to bring the crowd back up. You got to bring the people back up, and it'll be real late at night. I just hope the UFC keeps the pacing of this thing going. You know, I don't want to see no long introduction with Dana White and Tucker Carlson walking out to the ring for like 3 minutes. I don't need to see a UFC Hall of Fame induction that lasts 10 minutes where it's just a fighter hugging everybody in the crowd. I don't want to see that stuff for UFC 300. You got to get this thing done in 3 to 3.5 hours tops. Get out of there by 1 or 1:30. You can't be doing a 4.5 hour pay-per-view. People don't want to sit through that. Nobody wants to sit through that. And if you want the event to be looked at as, oh my God, this was the greatest show ever, keep it tight. Because some of these pay-per-views that go 4 hours, like, yo, it's too much. It's too long. WWE figured it out, man. WWE figured it out. Like WrestleMania, I think the first night was like 3.5, maybe 3:45. WrestleMania night 2 was like 3 hours, 3.5. They kept it tight.
2 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's spread
sure.
in 2 days, and it gets.
Yeah.
You know what?
Well, spread UFC
Like, let's be
300
honest.
over 2 days then. I'd be good with that. Do 2 cards.
Not really, man. I don't agree with that. I think the WWE should be in one night on a Saturday night and just like max it out and just deliver like fireworks. You know, the 2 days coverage. I find it. For sure they're bringing over 165,000 seats and whatnot. There's big money to be made, but it kind of like draws out like the whole that
It
impact.
worked.
Look,
They
I
did
agree
it
with you. I
really
hope
well
I hope
this
the
year,
UFC doesn't
AJ.
go
They
into-
did it perfectly this year.
No, they did very well.
It was great.
Of course, The Rock was there, and like everybody else that was there for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying with the UFC 300, it has to be a in spectacle, as they say in French. It has to be something like wow. So it's gonna
No,
probably
but
go
the main
those
card
4
should
hours
not be more.
plus.
Look, you got all the prelims if you want to add some extra, like, whatever. The main, because that's the thing. It's not just the main card. If you count the prelims, this is like a 6-hour show, even more probably. So, no,
Sure.
I agree, man. 3.5 hours for the main card is way enough.
Yeah. They got to keep it moving. Just keep the pacing.
But it's
I
gonna be
just
hard,
don't
bud.
want to see that in between stuff. Keep those fights going. Let the fighters know, hey, once a fight is over, you're going out. You're making the walk. None of this, I fight at this time, I fight at this time. No, make the walk. Fight's over, make the walk. Be ready.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Warm
that.
up.
I agree with you on that. Because like if you look at some of these fights, like you look at the Charles Oliveira fight with Arman, I think that's going to go the distance. I think the Gaethje fight against Max Holloway, that will probably go the distance. Maybe the Weili fight too will probably go the distance if she doesn't knock her out. I'm pretty sure the Bo Nickel fight is going to be a quick fight. And I really believe that the Pereira fight is not going to go 5 rounds. I think it's gonna somebody's getting knocked out in that fight.
Sure.
So
But I'm saying, if
you know,
Bo
I-
Nickel is quick, right? If Bo Nickel ends in the first round, don't give me 20, 30 minutes before we see Oliveira and Tsarukyan. Give me 5 to 10
I
minutes
agree.
before those guys are making the walk. They're in the octagon. They're ready to go.
I agree with you on that. You're right. They got to stop enough. They got to keep that flow going, man. I absolutely agree with you. But it's a special night, man.
Lior says,
It's a special night.
Lior's in the chat. He says, watching the pay-per-view live this Saturday night from Moncton, and I'm probably going to turn it off after the Max Justin fight to go to bed, and I'll watch the rest of the card in the morning. And that makes a lot of sense because Moncton, they're an hour later. So for him, if the card ends at 2, it ends at 3 in the morning. Like, it's crazy, man.
That's
Nobody
hard.
wants to be up that late.
Hard. I agree, man. That's
You
why,
know?
you know what, to be honest, I would have liked to
We're
see
such
the
old
UFC
guys.
300 fighting in the afternoon, man, so that everybody on
Yeah.
different parts of the world can actually watch it like in some sort
Man,
of normal time. It would be great to have everybody at the same time that we've seen.
I missed the 9 o'clock start times for pay-per-views. That was awesome. They did that for a while. Remember 9 o'clock
but-
start times? It wasn't 10.
but-
It was great. That's the way they should do it.
But for a special event date, I have no problem it starting at like a 3 o'clock like pay-per-view time, man. So that, like I said, I'm cool with that, and I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was great, and there was so much like viewers, man, throughout the world just watching like these fights that start in the afternoon.
So-
These night fights,
okay.
yeah, it works well for North America, but
Yeah.
not so great for the UK and even for Lior and Moncton. It's not great.
Yeah. Lior wants to know how we can watch it in Canada. I think you could buy it on YouTube. You could buy it on UFC.com. There's a bunch of ways to buy the pay-per-view. A bunch of ways. And, of course, we'll be on with you 10 p.m. Eastern Time. When the show starts, we'll be on with you, breaking it all down and giving you our thoughts on the action and giving you the commentary and telling you what celebrities are there. And AJ will pretend to know who the celebrities are. It'll be a great time. Great times. Great times.
I know OJ won't be there, but
AJ, what do you think about the whole J.
I'm
Cole,
sure there's going to be a
Drake
packed house
thing?
of celebrities.
Yeah. J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, all that
What's up
stuff.
with
What do you
that?
think? Yeah. Kendrick Lamar's diss
you're
that he
asking
did
me.
to J. Cole and Drake. What do you think? Pretty good, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
What
That's
happened?
Okay. It was good. He did a good thing. It was a good rap that he did.
Yeah. Wanksters being wanksters.
What?
Fred, what are you talking about? Take it easy.
It's so toxic. Why some beef, man? Give Peace a
because
chance,
they've been
man.
saying
I don't
stuff
know.
about Kendrick subtly for a long time, especially J. Cole. And Kendrick was like, enough of this.
Hey, I'm talking to everybody involved.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just got to say some things to let people know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, if you're number one and you're far above everybody else, and then some guy who's like, oh, I'm number one, actually. And it's like, no, bro, you're not. You're like number two, but number two by a long shot. You know, it's like when, you know, like a guy like Dominic Reyes wants to claim he beat John Jones. It's kind of like, man, shut up. You know, sit down.
That's
Be humble.
debatable, dude.
Be humble.
What? That's the worst fight you could have picked of all. Come on.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one because where's Dominic Reyes and where's John Jones? Where they at?
Well, you're right.
Who's who?
You
Who
got a
is
point.
who? Who is the greatest
Well,
of all
John
time,
Jones,
and
I
who
mean,
is the
you're
guy
looking
that,
that
you know,
great.
kind of a journeyman fighter at this point? Let's be real. J. Cole is a journeyman rapper, and
kinda
Kendrick
both.
Lamar is a greatest of all time John Jones type level. And so he had to check him. He had to be like, get out of here, man. I'm way better than you. You suck compared to me. And he's not wrong.
Rap is toxic.
Rap is fantastic. I love hip hop.
Toxic.
It's competition, man. It's like sports. It's fun. They're not going to do anything crazy. Kendrick's not going to do anything crazy.
Rhyme battles.
Drake might do something crazy. Drake is the guy that you got to watch out for. He makes things real personal. He makes things toxic. Drake will make it toxic, and it'll be devastating. So, but let's
Jake
talk
is
about
the
the
type of
fights.
guy that's going to put like a heavy bet on an underdog.
I like how
That's where it
Fred.
comes down with Drake. Drake
I like
kind of
Fred that you're like, yo, rap is toxic. We cover the UFC, man. What do you think this? Like,
No, I'm sorry. Rap is worse.
This is a sport. Dude.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, man, this is a sport.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
It's close.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Come on.
definitely getting closer and
Come on.
closer as MMA grows. Speaking of toxic MMA, you hear
Martial
Sean
arts saves
Strickland?
lives.
You hear
Rap
Sean?
Kills
No, that's
lives.
true. Rap saves lives too, Fred. Rap saves a lot of lives. Rap helps a lot
Kills
of
a
people
lot
out.
also.
Yeah, but I think it saves more lives than it kills, to be fair.
Oh, no. Puts a lot of people in that tug life mentality, and that just
I
brings a
don't.
lot.
I don't know, man.
That's-
I think you're misunderstanding a lot of what's going on and what's gone on in hip hop,
Anyways.
man. Look at all the people that have been uplifted from hip hop.
Rap is toxic.
I disagree. I'll defend hip hop forever. Hip hop is the greatest art form that America ever created, and it has taken over all of culture. All of culture.
Vanilla Ice. You're right.
Guys are dying for dice games.
Yeah, that was not just a dice game, though. There was another. I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, senseless violence is bad, but there's senseless violence in America. But yeah, in
Lot
what
of it in
music
rap.
industry do you see more senseless violence? Rap music, and that's a problem. It's not good. Let's not talk about it. Let's talk about other things, man. This is like a weird place that we've got to, and I think it's my fault. So let me take us out of there and get to some fights. No, Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland
Yeah, what happened?
was offered. He said he was offered
Paulo
less than 200,000 to show and 200,000 to win. To fight Paulo Costa. The UFC offered him a fight with Paulo Costa, and he's like, I can't take it because we got to renegotiate the money. They're not like offering me a fair deal. This is a former world champion, right? I'm actually on Strickland's side. And somebody was like, what was it? Like 200 to show, 200 to win? And he's like, close, but less. And I was like, man, yeah, don't take that, man. Sit, Sean Strickland. You're worth way more than that for the company. And the fact that they would try to lowball this man to take that kind of low money, a former champ who narrowly lost the title, by the way. Like, that Dricus fight was close as hell. I think Dricus won, but you got to give respect to Sean Strickland as one of the best middleweights on the planet today. And a former champ who barely lost the belt, you got to give him more than not even $500,000 for a fight. I mean, if he loses, he gets less than 200 grand. That's embarrassing for the UFC. They should be ashamed of themselves that that's how low they're willing to pay their fighters. Like, it's not even like, oh, the UFC, they're such bastards. They should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed that that's the kind of money they're offering a guy like Sean Strickland to take a fight against a guy like Paulo Costa, because that makes them look like low-rent jabronis. It makes them look fucking second-rate. It makes them look like they're trying to lowball everybody. It makes them look pathetic. That is such a sad state of affairs, and especially when fans are like, well, that's fair. That's a lot of money. It's more than I make. Yeah, bitch, you're not a middleweight champion of the world, okay? Neither am I. It's more money than I could make in a year, 2-3 years. Sure, it's a ton of money, but I'm not Sean Strickland. I don't do what he does. I can't do what he does. Very few people on this planet could do what he does, and that's why he should be paid the big bucks. Fucking crazy, man.
So how much do you think he should be paid then? Like, where do you think his range should be then?
$1 million.
Like, let's not forget, he did
$1 million.
lose. It was close.
He's $1 million fighter. You give him $1 million every time he steps foot in the octagon for you because he's that guy. He's worth that right now. He's worth at least $1 million to your promotion. And if the UFC says he's not, they're fucking lying. They're making money. Get the fuck out of here.
I agree.
I just saw something from Leroy.
200 grand is very low for a Sean Strickland right now, who's a very hot fighter. And I'll tell you one thing I don't like about UFC contracts is it seems that the only people getting pay-per-view points are the champions or the main event. And I feel a guy like Sean Strickland, man, he should be getting pay-per-view points no matter what right now. He's a big star for his next fight. He should be getting pay-per-view points.
I think they want to do a fight night.
It
wouldn't even be on pay-per-view. It would be on TV.
It'll be on Fight Night, but like Strickland would have been perfect to be on UFC 300. There's no doubt about it. He would have had like a huge amount of like followers. But looking at Lior, what he says is that Strickland is bad publicity for the UFC. He does say a lot of crazy shit and does a lot of crazy shit. So maybe there's the liability factor as well.
No.
So
no,
you
because
never know.
There's no that shouldn't count because they still want to book him in big fights. They still want to use him. Liability factor is let's not promote him. Let's put him in kind of lower level fights. Let's try to disappear him. Not let's put him in a high profile main event and just lowball him because who cares? He's not champion anymore. He says dumb shit, but he has a lot of fans. He's a very well-known fighter, and he beat Israel Adesanya, became the middleweight champion of the world, then had a very close fight with Dricus du Plessis earlier this year in Toronto that he lost by very close decision. It was one round that made the difference, and that's the only reason, 1 5-minute period, why Sean Strickland is not the world champion today. That man should be paid. If the UFC doesn't think what he says is appropriate, they should fire him. But if they're going to use him, he should be paid for the level of fighter that he is and the level of star that he is. He is a star. People follow what he says. People love him or hate him. It doesn't matter. They know him. And I don't even like him. I don't like any of the shit he says. I think he's a good fighter, but I'm not a fan. But I can't help but defend him when he's getting fucked by the UFC. Because he is.
But to be fair, I think he said after that he talked with the UFC and they came to an agreement, and he is gonna face Costa after all. So yeah, good. Look, Sean, one thing I do like about Sean Strickland is he has no filter. He puts everything out there, and I like those types of fighters. I like the guys that put everything out there. And just let me judge whatever you do. And I think some of the things you do make you look very bad, even idiotic. But on other stuff like this, man, I'm happy, man. Bring it out to the public, man. And that's the best way to make things advance.
Yep. And I think a lot of people reacted the way I did, saying, what the fuck? You're offering him what? And then the UFC was like, okay, sorry. We're going to give you some money. Shut up, Sean. Take the money. Shut the fuck up. So hopefully he's getting paid. Because he should be getting paid. Like, that's an embarrassing offer. They should be embarrassed for making that offer. Dana should be asked at a press conference, Dana, What do you think about the offer of 200 to show and 200 to win for a guy like Sean Strickland, who was, this close to being your world champion still? Just, like, do you think that's a fair offer? Is that kind of in the ballpark for a guy like that? Like, that's a fair question. Because,
I mean, how much is
Dana
Aljamain
says,
winning
what?
this weekend?
Yeah, I don't know.
How much is Aljamain winning?
I don't know. Hopefully about, I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's around the same numbers as Sean
I'd
Strickland.
say it's around there, around 200 to show, 200 to win.
He shouldn't be
probably
200
around
to
there.
show, 200 to win. He should just be 500 to show. That's it.
Yeah.
Or give him
It should
400
be,
to
you're
show,
right,
whatever. Like, a guy at that level shouldn't be paid extra if he wins. Especially that type of money. It's crazy money. You're making 200 grand or 400 grand. That's a really big difference. That's a bigger difference than making 15 grand or, another 15. It's big, man. It's a huge amount of money for a guy. A guy like Sean Strickland shouldn't be offered 200 to show, 200 to win. He should be offered the even 4 just to show up. Win or lose, you're getting, but it should be more than 4. Like, it should be 5, 6, I'd say, 7 maybe. Close to $1 million, I'd say, for Strickland, for Aljamain, like for a lot of these guys. They should be making $1 million or real high 6 figures for these fights. They're stars in the UFC. I mean, come on. I hope. Let's pick fights. Let's pick winners. Let's start with the beginning.
The bonuses are going to be $300K. The bonuses for UFC 300 are going to be $300K. So
yeah,
Dana's throwing some money.
Well, they can afford it. They could throw more. Believe me, they could throw more. $300K is like nothing. You know how much they spent to buy Vince McMahon's shares back? Try $300 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good.
That's pretty much what Dana White made off of the sale, man, for the UFC. He made $300 million walking away with that deal. I mean, no, I agree with you. There should be more money paid to guys that were former champions, especially coming into the UFC 300. But, this has been an ongoing debate for the longest time, and I don't think they're going to change, man, because the model is working, It sucks, Maybe they need to have better, like, agents or something, some of these fighters, But right now, the UFC brass is winning with what they offer. There's only a few exceptions, man. John Jones, Conor McGregor that can walk out and make, like, some decent money, with the pay-per-view points and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, man, a lot of these guys are getting, like, not a big amount of money compared to some of the fighters that were fighting, like, even 10 years ago. It's not that much of an increase, man.
Davison Figueiredo, Cody Garbrandt is the opening fight on the pay-per-view. It's a cool fight. Cody Garbrandt, 32 years old. Davison Figueiredo, a little bit older now, 36. He's been successful at 135 pounds before. Picked up a victory over Rob Font back in December of last year. And now Garbrandt, who's coming off a knockout win over Brian Kelleher. A big fight here at 135. Figueiredo, minus 310, the favorite. Cody Garbrandt, plus 245, the dog. Okay. Interesting. I think Garbrandt's got a shot here. Am I crazy? I like Cody.
I think you're crazy.
Maybe, but he doesn't have much of a chin no more, like, I feel.
He survived his last
I'm going
fight.
to go with Figueiredo.
Okay. AJ, you got Figueiredo too?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on Fred's side there. Figueiredo.
Okay.
I'm
going to go with Garbrandt in this one. I think Garbrandt's going to pull it off. Chris Weidman won a couple weeks ago. I heard somebody say, like, guys that lost their chins, don't be surprised if their chins come back, because the UFC cut ties with something recently, and that something may help guys recover quickly,
What, TRT?
Dog, they got rid of USADA, so now it's drug-free sport or whatever. And
Well,
who
that's-
knows what's really going on.
Well, Belfort would be back.
I'm saying people are suspicious of things happening. People are talking. There are rumors. Don't be surprised if the Chins come back. Okay? That's all I'm
That could be
saying.
interesting.
We'll see what happens. I got
Yeah, that could
Cody
be-
by upset, 245 the underdog. Jim Miller plus 155. Bobby Green minus 180. I agree with that. I'm going to go with Bobby on that one. Let's do some quick picks because we got to go through this whole card, okay,
Jim
AJ?
Miller.
So,
Jim Miller's going to win that one.
ooh, Freddie going
Yeah,
with the
man.
underdog, Jim Miller. I like it. Jim Miller came to the
Yeah.
press conference this week in a UFC 100 jacket. This guy's been around.
100, 200, and now he's here for 300, man.
Amazing.
But I'm on Freddie's side. I think Jim Miller, man, you know, if there's going to be one guy that's going to lay it out on the octagon, it's Jim Miller. And, you know, we always underestimate him. Every time he comes, we're like, and he wins in like a good fashion. I don't think Bobby has it, even though he's like the favorite, which I'm surprised. I think Jim Miller wins 300, and Jim Miller
Jim
will
Miller
retire
taps him.
at 300. What's that?
Jim Miller
Jim
has
Miller
won
by
5 of his
submission.
last 6. Freddie's saying submission? Okay.
Yeah, maybe unanimous, but he's going to win it.
Miller has won 5 of his last 6, which is kind of amazing because he's been fighting in the UFC since
Forever.
UFC 89 when he made his debut. He's been fighting as a pro since 2005. His debut in the UFC was in 2008, and he's 40 years old. But he's on a 2-fight win streak and, again, has won 5 of his last 6 fights in the UFC. He's been doing very well. Bobby Green coming off a loss to Jalen Turner. Before that, he had wins over Grant Dawson and Tony Ferguson.
But the thing with Bobby Green is it depends what type of Bobby Green comes into the octagon. If it's
That's
a Bobby
true.
Green not in great shape, he's going to have a hard time with Jim Miller.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going against each other on a lot of these fights. Fred, you're sticking with AJ on a lot of these fights, which should be worrisome to you, but that's okay. I'm going with Bobby Green over Jim Miller. We've got Jessica Andrade and Marina Rodriguez. A very good fight at 115 pounds. Marina Rodriguez, one of the top. Jessica Andrade, one of the top at 115. Jessica Andrade coming off a TKO win over, of course, Mackenzie Dern. Odds right now have Andrade minus 135, Rodriguez plus 115. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, if I had to make a pick, I would probably go with Andrade.
Yeah, the only thing that
I don't
Rodriguez has is that 3-inch reach, man. So, like, if she can capitalize with the combinations of that 3-inch reach, it could be on her side. But Andrade is dangerous, man. 25 and 12. 17 and 3 for Marina.
Yeah, I got
If
Andrade.
Andrade bullies her, she'll win it.
I got Andrade.
Got
Freddie?
Andrade also.
There you go.
But it could go any way. I got Andrade, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marina wins. She's a very good fighter. But she
next-
lost 2 of her last 3, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Marina, she started strong, but she's 36 now, and I think she kind of hit that point where it's like, she hit her peak. And Andrade is still 32. I think she's got a lot left in the tank. I'm going to go with Andrade, slight favorite on this card. We'll give you our parlays in a little bit. We're running through the whole card because all these fights are worth taking a look at. Jalen Turner minus 240, Renato Moicano plus 195. I agree with the odds makers there. I think Turner should win this one. He's one of the easier picks, I think, on this card. I think he wins. I think he probably wins by knockout, too.
I like Turner. He's a big lightweight, man. I like his potential. Like, I don't know how high he'll go, but he's always bringing good fights, and he's a solid big guy for the division.
Yeah.
Look, he's a bigger athlete, than Moicano in the cage. He has a 4-inch advantage in height as well as in arms and legs. He's 6 and 2. his only losses was the ninth ranked Dan Hooker and Mateus Gamrot. So that says a lot about Jalen Turner. So I'm on your side on that. I think Jalen Turner is gonna pretty much take the win.
Yes, indeed. We're all going with Jalen Turner unanimously here. Finally, we all pick one. We all had Andrade, too. Diego Lopes versus Sodiq Yusuff, a 145-pound fight. This one will go down at 8 p.m. on the TV prelims. Yusuff plus 115, Lopez minus 135. I agree with the odds makers there. I got Diego.
Yeah, Diego.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Diego
that was easy. That was easy. Next up, we got Holly Holm.
And it'll be a fast round.
Kayla Harrison.
Ooh, I'm waiting for this. This is my fun fight. This is like Ronda Rousey all over again, man. Judo champion coming back, and I think this time around, Holly Holm is going to be the one on the losing edge. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I can't wait for Kayla Harrison to come in. It's going to be hard. She has to cut a lot of weight, man. A lot of weight to get into this fight. But, you're talking one of the best judo practitioners out there coming into the UFC for her debut, going against Holly Holm that pretty much ended Ronda Rousey's career. And I think it's going to be the other way around. I think it's going to be Kayla that's going to end Holly Holm's career on Saturday night. It's over.
Maybe. Holly Holm plus 350. Kayla Harrison minus 450. Kayla is a big favorite to win.
Yep.
I don't like the odds. I don't think it should be that much of a difference. I mean, look, Kayla, she's coming with a lot of hype, but I mean, who has she really fought? She's fought Aspen Ladd, a couple, Caitlin Young. There's a couple of names I recognize, but Holly Holm has fought the top level of women's MMA for a very long time. So, look,
but Freddie, I
look at Harrison. And she looks jacked. She looks like quite an athlete. She should win. I'm going to just take a chance and pick Holly Holm for an upset because Holly Holm's a veteran with a lot of experience. So Holly Holm, and as a single bet, I would look at it. What is it? Plus 350, something like that, man. So that's a good odd to maybe look at an upset for a single bet.
It's hard, Freddie, because look, you're looking at a girl that's 42 years old, has been through a lot of wear and tear. She's 5-6, man, and won no contest. Mm-hmm. You're looking at Kayla Harrison, man, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. 6 wins via submission, 6 via knockout. So this girl could stand up just as much as she could dish out on the ground. She's 16-1, 33 years old.
I don't think Holly Holm is scared of trading with Kayla Harrison. If anything, Holly Holm is hoping that this fight is a stand-up fight of striking.
Yep. I think if Holly Holm can keep her distance, keep her range, she could win rounds. And if she could take it to the decision, she might be able to win 2 out of 3 rounds just by staying at range and outboxing her. Holly Holm is a much better boxer than Kayla Harrison. Holly Holm is in the boxing Hall of Fame. She's incredible. She's very, very good on her feet. She's got very good hands. Kayla Harrison is a judo player. She's going to want to take Holly down. She's going to want to finish her on the ground. But Kayla Harrison lost to Larissa Pacheco in PFL. Kayla Harrison is untested. However, I think she wins this fight because... What?
Did she beat Pacheco again the second time?
No, the second time she lost. Pacheco, she beat Pacheco once, and then a couple years later they fought again, and she lost. Kayla Harrison won her last fight. Before that, she suffered her first ever pro loss, unanimous decision to Larissa Pacheco, to lose the 2022 PFL Women's Lightweight Finals. Okay? Holly Holm is a higher level fighter. Holly Holm may be the best fighter that Kayla Harrison's ever faced. Kayla Harrison, though, 33 years old, still improving as a mixed martial artist. I think she'll do what she needs to do to get the job done. I think Kayla will get the win, but I wouldn't bet on her. I might bet against her. But the
I
only
think
thing
that's
I don't
probably a
like with
better
Holly Holm, honestly, peak Holly Holm, I think beats Kayla Harrison. I think Kayla Harrison is a lesser version of Ronda Rousey.
What?
Ronda was
A
better.
two-time gold medalist?
Ronda finished
Come on,
people.
man.
Kayla doesn't finish people like Ronda did.
She has 6
Kayla's
knockouts
bigger.
and six submissions, man. What are you
She's
talking
bigger
about, dude?
too. Yeah, she's bigger. So, and she's fighting people that
Yeah.
like don't even exist. She's fighting at 155 pounds. There's absolutely no competition there. She's fighting now at 135, a division with real competition. She's cutting weight to 135 and fighting for the first time ever in her career. There's a lot going against Kayla Harrison in this fight. A lot.
Yeah,
And for
it's
those
tough.
of you that want
I'll
to say,
give you
"Oh,
that.
PFL, and look at her, she's judo and da-da-da." Okay, yeah, but there's a lot, that is going against her. And Holly Holm is one of those things. But I don't think Holly is peak Holly anymore. Her last fight, she looked real flat. She just looked real
Listen,
flat.
I'm going to tell you this, Dave. The preacher's daughter is going to need to pray as much as she can. I disagree with you guys. I think Kayla Harrison's coming into the UFC, and she's coming at the right time at 300, and there's a reason for that. Because
I think she's
going to
win this one, but probably lose her next one. Yeah.
I don't think so, man. 32
Mark
years
my
old,
words.
man.
Who's the expert in women's MMA
I don't
here on
know
the
about
show,
that.
AJ? Who's the expert?
Hey?
Who's the women's
the one who
MMA
picked-
top expert better? Me, not you.
Actually, me, because I was the one
No.
who predicted Ronda
You suck.
Rousey would get knocked out. I was the
you
first
suck.
one that said
No,
on
no,
air
no,
live.
No. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Go back in history and you'll see.
No.
Back at TSN, I called it live. I said Ronda Rousey.
Ask Fred who's the
You know,
women's
I said,
MMA
don't blink.
top
It's going to
picker.
be over faster than you think.
Ask Fred.
Hey? What?
Fred?
I said, don't blink.
Fred,
it's going to be
you
over
muted
than you
yourself.
think. What happened, Freddie?
Fred, you muted yourself. I can't hear you.
I'm the best.
Oh, what?
He is, actually. He's beating all of us in predictions.
Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling. Fred, who you picking?
That's a tough one, man. I
Come on, you're the
I
best.
want to go with Aljo, but
You're the best.
he's going up a weight class. I'm not convinced he'll have the same success. I'm gonna go with Aljo because I think he's the better fighter. But oh man, this is a good fight. This is another one I could see go either way, man. This should be a very fun fight to watch.
Kattar's 36 years old, coming off a knee injury. Aljamain Sterling, 34 years old, former world champion, coming off the TKO loss to Sean O'Malley back in August of last year. I think Aljamain gets this one done. I think Aljamain picks up a victory, probably a decision over 3 rounds. Aljamain minus 170
really
the
good,
favorite,
man.
Kattar plus 145 the dog. I got Aljo.
I'm on your side, Dave. If you listen to his interview this week, man, the guy says he's never felt better. He feels super strong. I mean, this is his fight. I think it's going to be a good fight with Calvin, but I agree with you. I think Sterling's going to take it. Plus, he's entering a new weight class, man. He feels strong, like stronger than he's
Yep.
ever had.
Yeah, I
So
think he's
it
going to
could
do
be
well.
Something interesting.
He might make a run at 145. Yuri Prohaska, Alexander Rakic. Rakic,
Ooh,
32
that's
years
gonna be
old,
nice,
14-3 as a pro. Yuri Prohaska, former champion, 31 years old, coming off a knockout loss to Alex Pereira. I got Yuri in this one, though. I think Yuri bounces back, picks up a win over Rakic. I think this fight's going to be close, tough, wild. Rakic, right now, minus 115, slight favorite. Prohaska, minus 105, slight underdog, basically a pick 'em, but you get some value on Yuri. I like it. I think people are counting Yuri out. He went up against a style that didn't work with Pereira there, and it just, it was a bad matchup for him, but I think this will be a little bit better. I like Yuri. I still believe in Yuri.
I got Yuri also, mostly because Rakic also is coming back from a knee injury, and he hasn't fought in a while, and I think he's only had one fight in the last 3 years almost. So I'm gonna go with Yuri. But with that said, Rakic is very solid fundamentals. Like, he has good striking, good defense, and all. I could see him giving problems to Yuri if Rakic comes in at top shape like he's been in the past. I could see him causing an upset here, but I'm gonna pick Yuri's gonna be my pick.
Yeah.
But Freddie, there's
It's a
no
tough
way
fight.
he's gonna take out. He's not. There's no way that Rakic is gonna take out Yuri. He hasn't finished someone since 2019. The last guy he finished was Jimmy Manawa. The thing with Yuri,
Wow.
man, it's gonna be tough, and there will be a knockout, but it's not gonna be coming from the Rakic side. That's for sure. I think Yuri
Yeah.
is destined to be back on top at some point. It's a beautiful fight to be part of the free series of the UFC 300. I think it's gonna influence a lot of people to buy the pay-per-view. I think Yuri is there, man, and I'm glad he's back. And did you say he's the underdog, Dave?
Yuri,
From
slight
what I saw
underdog,
last, he
minus
was the
105.
Interesting.
Oh, he's favorite.
No.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yuri Prohaska, minus 105. Alexander Rakic, minus 115. I mean, it's basically a pick 'em, but Yuri is a slight underdog. You're getting good value, I think, on Yuri Prohaska. Getting terrible value on Bo Nickel, minus 1,600, the favorite. Cody Brundage, plus 950, the underdog. People expecting a squash match. Anybody picking Brundage? Can we move on? Yeah.
No, you move on, bud. The only
The
thing I would
Bronx-
say is this. The only thing I would say is that
You
if
say
you put your
move
money
on,
into submission,
and then you don't shut the fuck up
Wait,
about
wait.
it.
But wait a sec, let me finish there, man. You just can't say pick him. There's a reason why. I think don't be surprised if Bo Nickel doesn't knock him out, because that's what he tends to do a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? He'll fake that takedown and go for that heavy hand. And that's the only thing I could say is that if you want to up your bet and make some extra money, don't disregard the knockout from Bo Nickel.
Okay. Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan. Arman,
Oof, this is gonna be
27 years old, on the rise, 3 wins in a row, including a knockout of Beneil Dariush in his last fight. Took him 64 seconds to put Beneil Dariush away. Very, very impressive. Charles do Bronx Oliveira, former world champion. He also beat Beneil Dariush in the first round in his last fight. So
Yep.
it's been a rough year for Beneil Dariush there in
Beneil has
2023.
looked old recently.
Yes, he has, and it's not just the gray hair. The only guy that's beaten Charles Oliveira in the past, I'm going to say 5 years, 6 years, is Islam Makhachev. Everybody else, Dariush, Gaethje, Poirier, Chandler, Ferguson, all falling to Charles do Bronx Oliveira. He is 34 years old. He is fighting a 27-year-old guy in Arman Tsarukyan, who's on the rise, who's looking real good. But
Oh yeah.
the fact that Charles do Bronx Oliveira is plus 175 the underdog, and Arman Tsarukyan is minus 215 the favorite, surprises me. I don't see where Tsarukyan beats Charles. Standing? No. On the ground? No.
Look,
I
that's gonna
got
be
the
hard, Dave.
Bronx.
You know why?
I think Charles Oliveira wins this. Plus 175. I'm going with the former champ.
And you're
So
right,
am I.
man. It's gonna be a tough one, because the thing with Arman is that, like, his grappling game is phenomenal. He was thrown into the wolves when he first came into the UFC. But the one thing with Charles, where people forget, is that, like, when he was fighting Islam, he couldn't do too much on the ground, man. Charles was able to, like, make it very difficult for Islam. So do you think Arman is going to be able to control Charles on the ground when Islam couldn't? No way, man.
Nope.
I think it's going to be a very, very tough fight. I think it's going to be a very exciting fight. But I think, Charles Oliveira, man, is still Charles, man. Dangerous, and it's going to be a tough fight for Arman. It's not going to
There
be
we have
Dariush
it.
he's fighting.
We're all going with Charles Oliveira, even though he is the
Yeah.
underdog. I think that's a real interesting pick there. Charles Oliveira right now at bet99.ringsidereport.net. Sign up with our link, bet99.ringsidereport.net. Charles Oliveira, plus 175, the underdog, going into this weekend's UFC 300 against Arman Tsarukyan.
I'm trying to
Interesting.
remember. Somebody, a fighter, I think, said that Charles Oliveira was his favorite fighter all time in the UFC. And I remember reading the quote and going, you know what, man, he might be right, man. Charles Oliveira is always bringing the show. I don't have
Yep.
the stats in front of me, but he has a lot of finishes, whether it's submissions or knockouts. The guy is very versatile. He always brings the show. I'm happy he's on the UFC 300, and yeah, he should win, man. I got Chucky Olives for the win.
Chucky Olives, baby. He's a great
And Chucky had it
example.
hard.
He's a great example of a world championship level fighter who doesn't speak English, who has managed to wow the fans and become a massive star and a massive draw with his fighting style, with his hairstyle, just with the way he presents himself and the way that he fights in the octagon. Take notes, Zhang Weili. Please. Please. You know what I mean? Like, Fred, you're like, Zhang Weili, she's not a star, doesn't speak English. That doesn't help. Charles Oliveira doesn't speak English either, and he's a massive star. Like, I want to see him. He can main event pay-per-views. He's fun to watch in the cage. Zhang Weili is good at fighting, but she's not an exciting fighter. Charles Oliveira is good at fighting, and he's exciting. It's like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva was a thing of beauty to watch in the cage. Oliveira's kind of like that.
True.
Amazing.
And let's not forget Oliveira, man. At one point in his career, he was so close to being like let go from the UFC. So his turnaround and his bounce back from coming from a bad like losing streak in the beginning, and I always say this, he didn't even have a coach in his corner at one point. I mean, this guy had like really not that much support, around him. And look where he is today. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and I think he will win on Saturday night against a very, very dangerous Arman.
Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Max moving up to 155. It's the BMF title on the line. Gaethje minus 160. Holloway plus 140. Apparently, Max is going up to 155 the right way. He's gained a lot of weight. He's cutting weight to get down to 55 as opposed to last time when he fought Poirier at 55 where he just kind of didn't cut weight and walked around at whatever and just fought at 55. You know, now he's trying to be a real 55er to get bigger and then cut down so he's not undersized in there against Gaethje. Does it make a difference? Everybody picking Justin Gaethje, it feels like. It feels like Gaethje is, when this fight was announced, it was like, oh, why are they doing this to Max Holloway? Odds still close, though. Gaethje minus 160, Holloway plus 140. It's close. You can't say Holloway doesn't have a shot. He's Max blessed Holloway. The best is blessed, baby.
The best.
We all know it.
He's the best.
He's great.
Exactly.
He still looks skinny to me, though. Like you say, he did it the right way. I saw his pictures in the UFC embedded, like when he was taking the pictures in front of that green screen. And I go, wow, this guy is still pretty skinny. So I'm going to go with Gaethje because I think he's going to be able to impose himself with his size. And he's not going to be scared to trade punches with Max. Both are going to want to trade punches. They're both great strikers. But I think Gaethje's going to hurt Max more than Max is going to hurt Gaethje. So I got Justin Gaethje to win this fight.
Look, Fred, I'm going to tell you one thing. Like, he's got 8 months to prepare for this weight class where he only had 3 months prior in his last fight where he's still impressed. The thing with Holloway right now, he's in a natural weight class in a sense. I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going the other way. I think Holloway is going to come in and really pepper, like, Justin Gaethje. And if you look at, like, Justin Gaethje, man, when he fought Calvin Kattar, the guy had over 445 significant strikes. Out of 11 straight fights, he's always hit triple digits. This guy comes out and he sends out like submarine shots of punches. And the guy has a granite chin. And Justin Gaethje, this is going to be fight of the night, no doubt about it. But I really think that Max Holloway, you know what I mean, is better prepared for this weight class than ever before. And I really think he's going to beat Gaethje. I think he's the real BMF. If anybody deserves the BMF title when it first came out, the first person I thought about was Max Holloway. I really did, and I think he's going to get it on Saturday.
We will see what happens. Gaethje, Holloway. I'm going with Justin Gaethje as well. I think Gaethje pulls it off.
Wow, I'm going with Holloway, bud.
I think it'll be a decision, and I think Gaethje will take it. I think it will be fight of the night, though. Zhang Weili taking on Xiaonan. It's for the women's strawweight championship. Zhang Weili minus 475. Xiaonan plus 375. That's about where
Zhang Weili.
I got Zhang Weili. Yep.
Yeah.
AJ, Zhang Weili.
Like I said, it's the grappling game that's going to make the difference, and I think that's where this fight's going to head towards.
Yep. Alex Pereira minus 130. Jamahal Hill plus 110. Ooh, okay.
Such a great fight.
It's an amazing fight. I think Jamahal Hill is way, way dangerous. Really good. Just getting better every day, every fight. Every fight you see him in, you're like, wow, he's different than the last time, and that's really scary. At 32 years of age, the guy's steadily improving and already started from a point of being awesome, and now he just gets better and better and better. The injury, though, I think it was an Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Achilles.
It's a pretty serious injury, man.
He ruptured his Achilles last July
Playing
basketball. And now
normal
he's
injury.
back like 10 months later, 11, is it April? Yeah, like 9 months later. Eee.
A quick turnaround, seriously.
Yeah.
Because that's a very serious injury. Like that's what put Kobe Bryant's career at an end when he ruptured his Achilles. Like this usually is bad news for athletes. I know the medicine is much better these days, and they're able to fix it better. But
a tendon.
Man,
it's a
that
tendon
scares me.
risk. It's very. I see it a lot, like at the gym. Especially with the basketball players, I see it live. I can't even tell you how many times I've treated like Achilles tears, and a lot of times, when they come back, it's they don't have the same bounce, obviously, but it's a nasty thing to get. And look, he's been out of it. He hasn't fought since that tear. I'm telling you, if there's anything that's worse than any type of injury, other than the ACL or the meniscus, it's the Achilles. Very, very, very
Yeah,
nasty.
it's bad. So are we all picking Alex Pereira to win then?
Well, look, there's a lot of factors too, other than the Achilles, man. When you look at Pereira, man, I mean, there's so much going for this guy, man. Outside of the UFC, when he was with Glory, man, he was both the middleweight and light heavyweight champion. I mean, this guy is just a real champion, man. From a different organization, he walks in, two-time champion in the UFC. Pereira is dangerous, man. This guy is like, even Dana White said once, he says, somebody asked him, who's the scariest fighter that you've ever talked to or had to have a meeting with? And he goes, Pereira. He goes, the guy has like stone cold dead eyes, man. He looks like a true serial killer. The guy looks dangerous. And there's a reason for this. This guy likes to fight. I mean, he has some things that, when he goes into the fence, the only thing I find that sometimes when he has his back step, that's where his defenses drop a bit. I find that where his weak point is. And sometimes when he's up against the fence, like his defensive game gets a little weak. But other than that, man, this guy is something. And you can't take away from Jamahal Hill. Before that injury, I mean, this guy here was he's a phenomenon. But it's going to be tough. And you know what? There's going to be a revenge factor too, because he wants to have a revenge factor for his coach, Glover Teixeira. So let's not forget that. There's a little added heat. So, Pereira has Glover in his corner, and he wants that win for his coach. He wants to get back, man. And that's a strong point for me, man. It's not just about winning the belt. It's the revenge factor.
Yeah, and I think Pereira will get the revenge for Glover, and he will pull it off in the main event. It's now time for my parlay. I'm going to give you my parlay, and then we'll get Freddie's and AJ's right after. It's a 3-fight parlay. I'm keeping it fun and simple for you. Charles Oliveira plus 175, the underdog. I'm going with Chucky Olives on the parlay over Tsarukyan. I got Aljo minus 170 over Calvin Kattar, and I got Jalen Turner minus 240 over Renato Moicano. $20 gets you 103.75 over at bet99.ringsidereport.net. It is a plus 519 3-fight parlay going with Oliveira, Sterling, and Turner. It's a Team Dave parlay, 3 fights for UFC 300. Who wants to do one next? I think Fred's ready. Fred looks ready.
I got a big parlay. I got Chucky Olives Jim Miller, Yuri Prohaska,
Ooh.
Alan Turner, and
Whoa.
Justin Gaethje.
Whoa. Okay. He's got Chucky Olives. He's got Yuri Prohaska. He's got Jalen Turner. He's got Justin Gaethje. It's a 4-fight parlay from Team Fred.
No, you're missing one. Jim
What?
Miller.
Jim Miller. Oh, my God. It's a 5-fight parlay from Team Fred.
It's AJ country, man.
It is AJ country, and the payout is massive. This is a huge parlay. I love it so much. Fred is giving you the money this time. Here we go. Team Fred, it's a 5-fight parlay from your man Freddie. He's going with Chucky Olives, plus 175. Jim Miller, plus 155. Yuri Prohaska, minus 105. Jalen Turner, plus 240. Justin Gaethje, minus 160. It's a plus 3,052 parlay. 20 gets you $610 at bet99.ringsidereport.net.
Like payout, man.
20 gets you $610. That's a huge payout for Team Fred. My goodness. AJ,
That's
beat
a nice
that.
one.
Beat that, AJ. Let's see what you got.
Well, I'm gonna beat it just on the Gaethje thing because I really think that Max is gonna triumph on Saturday. But so I'm gonna start with Pereira.
He's gonna what?
Triumph.
Oh, I thought you said tramp.
So, well, he
like,
could be a
what?
triumph too after the
He's gonna
fight. They usually
tramp.
are.
What does that
But
mean?
listen,
Uh-huh.
so Alex Pereira is gonna be my pick over Jamahal Hill. Then I'm gonna go with Weili Zhang over Yan. Then I'm going to go against you, Freddie, on this. I think Max Holloway, is going to come out and it's going to be fight of the night, but I think Max Holloway is going to walk away. I think this is going to go to a decision, but Max Holloway for the win. Then I'm going with Chucky, man, over Arman. This could go either or, man. If Arman presses, man, and, he really, takes control of the fight, he's going to win. But I think Charles, man, is just at another level. This is a big, big test for Arman, and I don't think he has it to beat Charles. And then for sure, I'm going to go with Bo Nickel. I think it's going to be a fast fight. I said it could go either way, either by a submission, which is a strong possibility. The thing with Cody is that when he gets to the ground, his grappling sucks, man. His defensive grappling is horrible. And the minute that he turns on his fours, you know that Bo Nickel's taking his back and choking him out. There's no doubt about it. That's what's probably going to happen. But again, Bo Nickel is a powerful striker. That's what most people don't realize. So he might pull out that fake of the double or the single and lay this guy out. So either or, Bo Nickel is going to win it. There's a reason why the odds are so high. And then I'm going to leave it as that, guys. I'm not going to go into the prelims, even though I want to. But if I had to pick anybody, I think Yuri is going to beat Rakic.
Okay, are you putting that on your parlay too?
What,
or no?
Dave? Put it on my parlay, man.
All right, let's throw it on your parlay. Why not? It is a 6-fight parlay now from Team AJ. We'll show you what we got. Pereira minus 130, Oliveira plus 175, Holloway plus 140, Prohaska minus 105, Bo Nickel minus 1,600, Zhang Weili minus 475. 20 gets you 586.44 over at bet99.ringsidereport.net. It's a plus 28.32 parlay. Not as good as the payout for Fred's parlay. That Patrick C. Hamilton just dropped a super chat, dropping to 777, saying he's going to put a small amount on Fred's parlay this weekend. So Patrick,
it's a good one, man.
Mr. Fred. It is a good parlay.
Freddie.
Can't argue with it.
It's just a Gaethje fight, man. That's the one that, is going to break me or Freddie right there.
Yes, one of your parlays.
Because I think we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah, that's it. You need, right? Because Fred took Gaethje and you took Holloway, so
yep.
You can't both win, unfortunately.
Nope.
I could win.
But we were
one of you
pretty
guys could
similar in most of our picks throughout the night,
Yeah. I got Chucky Olives. Chucky Olives is a big one. Did we all take Chucky Olives in our parlay?
I got
him. Could be dangerous.
Chucky's on my side, man.
That could ruin the night, right?
It could, but let's not forget who he is.
Chucky Olives. That's who he is.
Exactly.
All right, guys, we're going to be back here Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the UFC 300 watch-along. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to party. We're going to celebrate. And we are going to enjoy UFC 300 along with you. I'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, for all the wrestling talk that you can handle. Wrestling Uncensored tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. We will talk about AEW showing the CM Punk footage. We'll talk about WrestleMania, the fallout from WrestleMania, The Rock and Cody Rhodes. What did The Rock give Cody Rhodes? What did he put in his hand? What was that? We will find out. We will talk about it. We will speculate. We'll talk about what to expect maybe at WrestleMania 41. Now that WrestleMania 40 is in the books, what are we headed towards? What is the future for the WWE? Where are we going? Where are we? What the hell is going on? We'll try and figure it all out.
Cody Rhodes.
Tomorrow on Wrestling Uncensored, Cody Rhodes, the undisputed WWE champion right now. Cody finished the story. He beat Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief is gone, and probably won't be back till SummerSlam.
Hey.
Also,
Cody Rhodes.
The final boss is gone. Don't fuck with the final boss. That guy was the best. I'll miss him. And Raw is in Montreal on Monday. Next episode of Monday Night Raw will be here in the city that I live in, and I'll be there at the arena where they will be doing the Raw show. So I'll be at the next Raw, which is kind of fun, right? Monday Night Raw. Why not? Why not on a Monday? So all that going down this weekend, a massive weekend, again, in pro wrestling and MMA here on the Ringside Report Network. I'll be back tomorrow night with Johnny North for Wrestling Uncensored, 10 p.m. Eastern, and then Freddie and AJ and I, or maybe just AJ and I, will be back Saturday night for UFC 300, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. When the pay-per-view starts, we start, and we keep it going. Angelo Contagonis dropping the Super Chat says, great show, guys. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you for supporting. You are the Super Chat leader of the night. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to Angelo. Thank you to Patrick C. Hamilton out in Regina, Saskatchewan. Thank you to Leor, member of the team. Thank you to all the members supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net. Thank you to Angelo and Patrick and, of course, Leor and all the members supporting the channel. And a big no thank you to all the AJ fans tonight. If you're pro AJ and booing Dave or saying mean things about Dave, I am not on your side. I am actually actively working against you. So I hope you enjoy it. And
cool.
just to wrap up the show, I'll just give you a final taste of this, of peace, of adult conversations that have real answers. Thank you for joining us here on the Ringside Report Network.
O.J. Simpson, Twitter legend.
Yes. And murderer. I don't think I have to say allegedly anymore because he's dead, right? We can just say murderer. I don't think he would sue because how could he prove that he's not? Pretty hard to do. Okay, guys, we'll see you again real soon right here on the Ringside Report Network. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. Please share this episode on whichever social media platform you use. Add a comment below and consider reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net.